All right, we are live. Zed Dez, I know you got to go to sleep, but thanks for showing up. You are our gal in the frozen north of us, which is like that way of Canada. I mean, Walrus Libertarians probably got the eastern part of your country locked down, and I'm sure you are covering everything we need done in the western part. Anyway, everybody, welcome to the show. How you doing? It's another Monday night chill stream. Last night was a relatively late night, so I didn't get a chance to stream, and a few things to do. Anyway, here in the New York, New Jersey area, gorgeous weather, 85, low humidity. What a lovely day. I did almost nothing except go shopping and cook, which I did. I just had a couple of... I just bought 2 lamb shoulder chops, which that kind of lamb a lot when I do eat lamb. Price used to be $7.99 USD a pound, just went up to $8.99 USD a pound. Still worth doing. What I did was I took a couple of cloves of garlic and I kind of chopped them super fine and then mashed them. I took the knife and I smushed them like this with some salt, and then put some oregano and rosemary and some black pepper, of course, and made it all into like a smush, like a rub. It's not really a dry rub, I guess, because the garlic isn't dry. But I rubbed it on the lamb chops, the lamb shoulder bits, and threw it in the fridge for like 4 hours, and just had it along with some string beans done in olive oil and a bottle of California Red. And wow, am I in a phenomenally good mood. Was that Des in the chat? Oh, I have to share this with you. You being you're Italian, close enough. I was searching restoration of Europeans and found a channel where an Aussie girl fell in love with an Italian man who are restoring his family properties. Wow, that's cool. You know, because Australia is probably like crazy, exotic, far away from Italy. Like it must seem like she's from another planet, because those are 2 extremely different cultures. but you could sort of, the thing with being attracted to what's exotic is it depends on who you are and what you grew up with determines what's exotic, right? What seems attractive and different enough to make you to compel you to kind of abandon, or not abandon, but maybe put your culture and your life second to whatever that is. And it's different things for different people, obviously. I mean, some people fall in love with the jungles of South America or Asia or Africa or something like that. And maybe they grew up in really soft and easy circumstances, and living in Africa is dangerous and hard, and that excites them in ways that the country next to them, which maybe has a different language and a different culture, it's too familiar. It's like right next door, but something far enough away around the globe. It brings out something in people, a sense of the exotic, and a desirability that your next door neighbors or someone down the street or down the road or around the corner does not excite in you. The history and the saving of history. This is the brilliant. I can't believe your commentary is like so spot on for where we're going with tonight's stream. It's all about history, old and new, and trying to see it clearly. I think largely that's what I'm doing. I realize that I don't always come off with the sweetest and most dulcet tones. I'm not always the most persuasive I could possibly be. I can sometimes the information I present or the ideas I present can be obscured by the fact that I don't always present them in the most palatable fashion. And here's the thing about what I believe to be the best information and the truest information I can deliver to you is that the truth is not always palatable. You know what I mean? We're entering a time, I firmly believe, where being spoon-fed perfectly sweet, exactly to your taste information is passing by, and that you will be forced by circumstance to live with the reality that is not exactly to your liking. And so the ability to kind of overcome your own biases, is maybe a good ability to develop, right? It's probably always good to develop that, but it's not easy, and it's something you can show off to your friends, and it doesn't impress strangers. So it doesn't get the attention it deserves. The girl is half from Greek, so she's from mainland Greece, moved to Aussie land after World War II. Listen, being a female a doctor, in the medical profession is not easy. It makes you high status, although you're married, right? So when I rode motorcycles with a guy named Theo, who's a doctor in Yonkers, New York, and his wife is also a doctor. His wife was born and raised in Hungary, and he met her in Hungary, where he went to medical school. They had a friend, and I don't recall the woman's name, but it was maybe the most attractive Indian woman I've ever seen in my entire life. She was of course dark-skinned Indian, but she had serious milkies and a great body, and she was really high IQ. She's a doctor in New York, and she couldn't get laid if she was a brick. Like, she could not find a man because she refused to date men below her social class. And I'm not talking about Indian social caste, but she's a doctor in New York, you know what I mean? And she's trying to find guys like her age to have relationships with. But anybody that's her age and her social class, doctors, like, they can bang every nurse in the fucking hospital, because nurses will just take doctors out for a test ride. You know what I mean? Just to see what it's like to be married to a doctor. They'll do that just for fun. And they, it's very difficult for her to find someone who wants to be in a relationship with her, who's in her same economic and social class with the same education. Whereas for a man who's a doctor, even though he may not be physically fit or super attractive, he's a doctor. You know what I mean? And in America, a lot of women are told marry a doctor. So again, these nurses might not really want to marry these guys, but they'll take them out for a test drive. They'll take them out for a weekend or summer romance kind of thing. So it was, and they used to constantly try to counsel her, but this poor woman was beside herself because she was all alone, and she was everything that is typically Western, except she's from India, right? She was good looking and successful and well educated and smart, and she spent more nights alone probably than I have spent. You know what I mean? So we're on two different ends of the social spectrum, but remarkably similar problems. Anyway, so let's talk about what's going on. Recently, we've had a bit of a pump in Bitcoin, so we have to talk about what I believe to be the critical ZDs, even though you don't think much of it. The critical component for a successful future is a decentralized currency, and that currency is Bitcoin. It's not going to be gold. We're not going to be like riding around on horses because Saudi Arabia stopped sending us gasoline, right? We're not going to be like, the gas stations don't work anymore, and so we're going to be like riding horses and carrying gold coins and like carrying 6-shooters and stuff. That's not going to be the future of America, because if it is, we'll be conquered really fast. The future, they're not going to shut off the internet. Technology is not going to go away. The internet's not going to go away, but it's likely to be restricted to less people. You know what I mean? It's not going to be as free as it is now. And so Bitcoin, which was like 10, 12 days ago, was like 31,000. As of the time of this show, we've gotten a bit of a pump up to about 39,000. So that's like a 30% increase. But like I said earlier, on May 16th, the government of China outlawed Bitcoin mining, which cut the size of the Bitcoin network by 53%. Essentially, Bitcoin suffered a 53% attack by a government entity and survived. Now, the price dipped, of course, in US dollars. It went from 64 down to, I think the low was 28.8, but we hovered in the low 30s for a long time. And the Chinese miners took it, again, being caught by surprise, flat-footed, and they're not super adroit people. Had to get plugged back in eventually, and looks like they've started to do that, and the price is reflecting that. So the hash rate, or the number of calculations per second, is well into the over triple-digit exahashes. That is to say, 300 quadrillion calculations per second are going into the network. So the network's sort of coming back. The max of the maximum hashing power or calculation power was 175 exahashes per second. Now we're in the low 100s, 105, 110. We're all things are slowly recovering. ZDes in the chat. Have I considered for a moment that you might be putting all your eggs in the same basket? Firstly, J.P. Morgan, the man who coined the phrase of talking about putting all your eggs in one basket, actually said, "Put all your eggs in one basket and watch that basket." But the concept of diversification, of don't bet all your money on one thing, or don't be particularly good at one thing. That's like saying, why bother studying medicine exclusively when you can study medicine, law, and civil engineering? Like, why didn't you go in 3 directions at once? Why did you go straight for medicine and not medicine, law, and engineering? And the reason why you didn't go in all 3 directions at once is because you would have failed. Okay, you would not have been confident enough in your abilities to master the series of tests necessary for medicine, or the series of tests necessary for law, or the series of tests necessary for civil engineering. So you would try all 3 at once and kind of sort of hope that one of them would work. That's not how you lived your life, ZDes. That's not how you succeeded. So that is not a strategy you have actually used in your own life. So it seems strange that you would advocate it for others. Yeah, it's just you and I. Right now, it's just you and I. I didn't send out enough Twitter notifications, but I wanted to get this thing going before midnight. Um, that's not the argument you were making. Zendez in the chat. That is not the argument you were making. I think it really is. If you just take a moment and reflect on it. Why would you dedicate yourself to one thing and one thing only that you believe is likely to succeed? Why not spread out your energy and your resources in multiple different directions in case one fails? That indicates a lack of confidence in your worldview and lack of confidence, in anything. If you're not confident that you're going to succeed, it's unlikely that you're going to succeed, right? So, by the way, tonight is on Uso night. Tonight is I already drank one bottle of red wine, and I've got another one here handy because I'm thinking like 2 bottles of red wine is probably less alcohol than half a bottle of Uso, at least by the type of math that I do. At any rate, man, I got so much stuff other than the Bitcoin chickie. I'm gonna get rid of her. Let's get rid of her. Let's talk about some people and their predictions. Let's talk about a famous guy that everyone might know here. Let's pump that up. Let's pump this up. Let us pump it up. Here's someone everyone will know. Every white supremacist will know. Here's our old buddy. Let's see how long it's going to take to show up. How long is it going to take to show up? Here is Richard Spencer. This is actually a Richard Spencer tweet. Wait, let me back it off and show you. And it is a Richard Spencer tweet. Do that. What if I do that? There it is. So you see it says Richard Spencer up at top. It says, don't take investment advice from me, but it's rare that a curve looks this bad. I guess Bitcoin will retrace 2020 by August. It'll be actually around $20,000. Hey kids, guess what the price of Bitcoin is right now today, August 2nd. Price of Bitcoin, $39,000. Richard Spencer, leader of the white race, a fat homosexual Fed, in my opinion, once again wrong. And people like him that are consistently wrong and consistently give you bad information, you have to look at them and say, you know what? Even bad information can be helpful to me because I know what not to do. People like Richard Spencer are reverse indicators. So if Richard Spencer says, get the fuck out of Bitcoin, and he made this tweet on, I'm going to make that tweet, blah, 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 blah. What is the date on that one? What is the date on that? I think it was, why would it show me? Oh, come on, you rat fuck. Well, the date on this was, early May, right? Or mid-May. So just about when Bitcoin was crashing from 64. At the point I drew that little red arrow, you can see on the tweet, it was about $40,000 then. It's about $40,000 now. So Richard Spencer, wrong as the fucking day is long, and you have to call that out. Somebody like me who has like I only have a 38 subscriber base on YouTube. If I'm fucking wrong, people jump all over me. You know what I mean? Because you feel like it's safe, and I'm not gonna say anything mean about you. But the leader of the white race, he gets puff pieces in the Atlantic. He gets to fucking talk to Charles Barkley about black people in basketball and whatever. He's wrong all fucking day long, and he never says, "Hey, you know what? I got it wrong." Never, not fucking once, right? He's like, when he's wrong, you just ignore it. You just pretend it didn't fucking happen, and that's why you're a chump, and that's why you end up getting arrested by the federal fucking government for doing some stupid shit that they call terrorism, which is probably walking through, like walking through the Capitol building with a little fucking paper flag, right? And you become domestic terrorist numero uno. So guys like Richard Spencer are wrong. They're richer than me. He's much richer than I am. He's not sitting in a fucking apartment in New Jersey, right? In his fucking t-shirt. You know what I mean? He's richer than me. He's better educated than me, and he's fucking wrong all the time. I, however, am fucking right. When I say that Bitcoin is the hardest, best money that has ever been created by mankind, and that it is decentralized money, and that decentralized money connected to or in conjunction with decentralized problem solving is going to be the ultimate in human freedom, I'm right and he's fucking wrong. Okay? And I'm going to prove that. And things that are true stay true for fucking ever. Like forever. And this is what people fail to understand. Okay? Let's take a look at a couple of things here. Well, here's a bit of comedy, right? So here's something that is obviously, like, ridiculously on its face untrue. But they put it in front of you and they gaslight you. And I don't know what number of people believe this, but people actually believe this. Right? Here it is from Yahoo Finance. A Federal Reserve, a Fed-issued digital dollar could print money for the people. This was on July 27th of this year. Really? So are you implying that the current system, the paper dollars that we use, are not printed for the people? Is that your did you accidentally kind of say the quiet part out loud? So, a Fed-issued digital dollar, and by the way, they're trying to make that happen. They just can't make it happen right now because it's a clusterfuck like you can't imagine. Could print money for the people. How is printing money good for the people? All right. The article doesn't tell you that. It's a short article. It's a 6-minute read. But this is them trying to gaslight you into thinking, yeah, the Federal Reserve Corporation is really working hard for you, the American public. No, they're fucking not. When they print money, it benefits the cantillionaires. It benefits the super rich, and it hurts everyone else. Hurts them very, very bad. Let's show some more stuff. Let's go to here's a great example, right? Here's a great example. I just saw this the other day. Why is it not showing up? Why is it not opening up? Open up. Wait a minute. Let me make it a little bigger. Now that I understand how to do my great screen shares, how I can Zed Des in the chat. Richard Spencer made it clear he's no one's friend. Yeah, so why would you listen to him? Why the fuck would you listen to someone who doesn't even have, why would you listen to him? Why? Explain to me why. If he's wrong on the facts, if his predictions are wrong, if everyone around him gets arrested and thrown in jail, why the fuck would you listen to a word he has to say? Okay, here's an article from, I grabbed it off of Twitter. Kamala Harris, likely the next president of the United States, whenever they decide to ditch Joe Biden. Her top economic advisor is from BlackRock. BlackRock, private equity, dark pools of money. The company that is buying up all of the private housing in America, driving up real estate prices all across America so that new home buyers cannot afford to buy a house because BlackRock will buy that house for 25 or 30% over market value, and they'll do that for 1,000 or 2,000 or 5,000 houses at once. You know why? Because they have all the money in the world. So BlackRock's executive named Mike Pyle, I'm sure he's a member of the tribe, is picked as Kamala Harris's top economic advisor. This story from January 8th, 2021. So you wonder who's running the show? Wall Street is running the show. Okay, here's everyone's favorite witch. Where are we going? Where are we going? Da, 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 da. I've mentioned this person before, but this is another reverse indicator. This is that chick who pretends to be an astrologer, and she's 100% of a spook. Marin Altman. And so she tweets, this was like 4 or 5 hours ago, May 16th, Jupiter direct conjunction, Bitcoin Venus bearish. July 27th, Jupiter retrograde conjunction, Bitcoin bullish. Then she says December 28th, Jupiter conjunction, Bitcoin Venus, blah, 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 blah. Be prepared for the bearish end of year. So Goldman Sachs / CIA / NSA is saying that the economy and the stock market is going to crash in December, and it's going to bring Bitcoin down with it. Well, let's fucking see about that. They got lucky with this May thing, right? Her prediction, because the Chinese government unplugged 53% of the network. But by December, most of the Bitcoin network will probably be plugged in again, and it will be plugged in America. And unless they're planning on rolling blackouts all across the country, including gas and oil companies, it's going to be pretty tough to shut Bitcoin down. So I'm guessing this prediction, regardless of how much Goldman Sachs and the NSA tries to make it happen, is not going to fucking happen. But who knows? It might. Depends on what tricks they pull. A lot of people have noticed that. A lot of people have noticed that China has done really well. The Chinese GDP since COVID is up like 18%. Their GDP is like 18%. And the reason why the expectation was in the 2008 crash, there was no stimulus. There were no stimmy checks going out, right? So there was a crash and demand for everything dropped. Demand for everything across the board dropped because nobody knew what was going to happen. The economy crashed. Everybody stopped spending money. Everybody pulls back. However, in this crash, stimmy checks went out all over the place. $600 ones, $1,200 ones, $1,400 ones. And people went out and bought shit with stimmy checks. Well, nothing is made in the United States. So who was the beneficiary of all this stimulus money? Hey, presto, it's China, it's Beijing. Because all the shit is made in China, a big portion of that stimulus money actually ended up in Chinese fucking accounts. Because you want shit, you can't leave your house, Amazon's going to deliver it, Amazon gets it from China, it comes off the boat, right? Goes to your door. But a big chunk of that money actually went to China. So that the next lockdown or the rolling lockdowns that they're planning, they're going to lock down the East Coast Tuesday, they're going to lock down the South Wednesday, they're going to lock down the Northeast or the Northwest Thursday. These rolling lockdowns and rolling blackouts, the beneficiary is still going to be China. It's still Chinese GDP, Chinese factories humming, Chinese making money hand over fist, and they have the power to raise prices now, which is going to drive inflation here in the U.S. as well, because the U.S. dollar does not buy as much Chinese junk as it used to. And will it crash the economy? I don't know. Astrology bitch and her friends think it will, but they, like I said, they got lucky with the Chinese shutting off the Bitcoin network by 53%, and that's a one-time event. That's not going to happen again. So I'm not so sure that December of this year is a bad time for Bitcoin, but we'll see. You got to think longer term. By the way, it's down here. The title of tonight's stream, including Bird's Milk, what I want to talk about, because we always have to reference shit from a million years ago. What I wanted to talk about is when Alexander the Great crossed the Hellespont and went in to destroy the Achaemenid Empire. in the old days, there were camp followers, right? There weren't when the army moved, there was always a camp of people behind them that came behind them, right? That would do all the things that the army needs that the army can't do for itself. Repair your sandals, sharpen your swords and your spears, cook food for you, do laundry, etc., etc., etc. Right? They were called camp followers. This was true. Every army that marched anywhere on foot for whatever hundreds or thousands of years had camp followers. Well, of course, Alexander the Great had camp followers as well, because Alexander's drive into Asia created so much wealth that so much money was sent back to Greece, like insane amounts of fucking money, like money like no one had ever seen before. The camp followers were the largest that anyone had ever seen. In fact, the camp was referred to as the floating city. That it was a city that floated and followed Alexander's army throughout Asia. And that it's historically recorded that in this floating city, you could find anything, no matter how rare, including bird's milk. So that's why I titled the stream, Including Bird's Milk. Okay, so Alexander marched through Central Asia. So I'm going to show you a picture from Central Asia. Right? Okay, it's ready. Here's a picture from Central Asia. That it floated around Twitter for a bit. People got all excited by it. Okay, so there you go. I don't know. Can I make that? Should I make that bigger? Let's see if we can make it one step bigger. Okay. So this is in Kazakhstan, which is like right next door to where Jonathan Paul is, who's in Kyrgyzstan, but this is the next country over, Kazakhstan, which, by the way, does Bitcoin mining because they have super cheap electricity, and they are considering allowing banks to custody Bitcoin. But this is taken in 2012. So what you see is a girl who's a little bit on the thick side. She's a little thick, and she's her arms are actually holding like two, I don't know, they're like two handles or something, and she's essentially doing a handstand in yoga pants while drawing a bow with an arrow in her feet and shooting at some sort of target. So people look at this and they think of Genghis Khan, or rather Genghis, if you want to say it the right way, say Genghis Khan, like Genghis Khan and the wild people of the Mongolian steppe, which is, they say steppe like STEPPE. So there she is. Oh, there she is. She's a wild daughter of Mongolia. Look at how wild she is. This is pure. This is primal. This is tribal. Yeah, she's, like I said, she's a bit thick. So, and then she's shooting a bow and arrow. You could see however she got up on those handles. I don't know if she's on a platform or somebody's holding them. I think she's on a platform. But anyway, she's shooting a bow and arrow at the Kazakhstan Games in the year 2012. Surely, absolutely, anybody on social media sees the daughter of Genghis Khan. Well, hold up, kids. Not so fast. Not so fast. You might wonder, why the fuck did they get the idea to do that? And here's the answer. Right? Here is the answer. Take a look at that. That's a piece of pottery, right, from Athens in about 425 BC. And what you can clearly see is a girl who's kind of thick doing a handstand and shooting a bow and arrow with her feet. Like I said, Alexander the Great marched through Central Asia, and behind him came the floating city. At some point, somewhere, somehow, the people of Central Asia probably spent more time with the camp followers than with Alexander's army. And Alexander was from Macedonia. Macedonia, not super civilized. It was like the edge of the civilized Greek world, the very, very like borderlands. So it's unlikely that there would be an acrobat class of females who could make a living standing, doing headstands. I don't, maybe I should back this off one click, because this one, the Greek one, the girl is, I don't know if you can see it, she's topless. Let me back it off one more. She is, so you can see she's only got her lady parts covered, but her milkies are apparently free. It was a milky free zone. Yes, gay men who paid women to do headstands and shoot bow and arrows. Yeah, that's how gay we were, and we were so gay that when we went to fucking Kazakhstan, everyone in Kazakhstan, 2,400 years later, are still doing what they saw us do back in the day. So you want to talk about deep impressions? You want to talk about lasting impressions? Kazakhstan got conquered by the Muslims. It was Islamist, right? It's a stand, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, all Muslim countries. And yet, what practice do they still practice 2,400 years later, after the communists, after everything? What is their practice? Let me remind you. Who left an impression on them that lasted? Was it Muhammad? Was it Muhammad? Was it Stalin? Was it Lenin? No. The lasting impression came from the Greeks who passed through there in 350 BC. And there's your fucking proof. There's your fucking proof. Right? They still practice what they saw the Greeks do 2,400 years later. Think of how many women taught their daughters to do this. Think of how for 2,400 years they kept this practice alive. Think that one through. You want to talk about localism and tradition, blah, 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 this and that. You don't even know where it comes from. You literally don't know where it comes from. So when you look at this and you see exotic, wild, fierce warriors of the Asian steppe, STEPPEE, what you're really seeing is some acrobat chick from Athens who figured out she could make a better living entertaining people in Alexander's caravan. And who knows, maybe she was like Franny. Maybe she's, maybe she was selling it. But I guarantee you, the girl that could do this, if you were going to sexify her, I'm thinking it cost more than the average prostitute. Or maybe she just did a public performance and that's that. But it left an impression on Kazakhstan so deep that 2,400 years later, they're still doing it. Right? Most of you people my point of this is you don't understand the world. You don't understand what shaped it and what drives it. You see things, you pay attention to things that are unimportant and are not drivers of behavior. It's not my opinion. that Alexander the Great left such a deep impression on Central Asia that they still fucking remember him today. In the Quran, in the fucking Quran, Alexander the Great is in the Quran. You say, how the fuck is he in the Quran? He was in 350 BC. The Quran was written in like 700 AD because he kicked so much ass so badly that literally fucking 1,200 years later they remembered him and put him in Quran as like the third demon from the West or some shit like that. I can't remember the name of him, but they describe Alexander the Great as like the great demon from the West. If you ever read the Quran, okay? Deep impressions, lasting impressions. So what I try to tell you to do is pay attention to what people do and not what they say, right? Richard Spencer says Bitcoin's dropping to 20,000. Like the Dickwad Scott Miner goes, Bitcoin's dropping to 20,000. Where does it go? 40,000. They're wrong. They've been wrong in the past. They're wrong today. They'll be wrong in the future. Pay attention to what people do, not what they say. Look at what lasts. Look at what stands the test of time. Is that such a difficult thing for you to do? Perhaps it is. Perhaps it's emotionally difficult for you. Maybe you can't figure it out. But my opinion didn't create the Kazakhstan games, which are still going on, and there's still some thick girl, some little pudgy girl who's got plenty of fucking rice or whatever the fuck they eat over there, curdled milk, whatever the fuck, who's still doing headstands inside the fucking house and practicing fucking pulling a bow with her feet. That's their tradition. They don't even know where they got it from anymore. Those people don't know how to fucking read and write. So ignore what is temporal. Ignore what is superficial. And it's critical that you be able to tell what is superficial and what's lasting. That's the point I'm trying to make. This is the point I want to make. So when deep state people like Marin, the astrologer, says the economy's fucked at the end of the year. Probably the economy is fucked at the end of the year. That doesn't mean Bitcoin's fucked, because Bitcoin dropping from 64 to 30 or 28 was a one-off thing when China cut the network in half, and that's never going to happen again. It was a one-off event, and we're halfway out of it already, right? Like I said, as of the start of this show, Bitcoin at 39,000. So you bought at the beginning of the year when Bitcoin was like 27, 28, you're way up, okay? And if you think that going forward that it's not going to go rocketing higher, you don't understand the money printer and you don't understand the lying cocksuckers who run it. What I'm trying to do, perhaps poorly, perhaps inelegantly, without honeyed words, is explain to you how to think about what they tell you, right? What to pay attention to, what to ignore, and what to do the exact opposite of. That's what I'm trying to get across, and I don't know how well or how badly I do that. Look at this, like 47 minutes I'm going already. I got all these notes. I got a whole new book. It's what the hell is it? I don't know. Captain America's a pit bull dog book. I don't know what the fuck it is. Tons of stuff. Jerome Powell. You know, the head of the Federal Reserve says, "Oh yeah, by the way, there is inflation, and it's a little bit higher than we thought, but don't worry, it's transitory." Does anyone seriously think at this point that inflation is not transitory? Does anybody anywhere on the fucking planet Earth like have a positive outlook about the future? Like, do you think, oh, things will get better? Biden said we'll build back better. Trump is going to come back in 2024. Emmanuel, what's his name? Eugene Macron, Macron in France will come to his senses. The police in Germany will stop punching 6-year-olds. Like what? Like who thinks that any of this is going to happen? Right? There's going to be more lockdowns, more masks. Get the COVID jab, or else you won't be able to go in the supermarket. Who thinks the world's getting better? Nobody. Right? Nobody thinks the world's getting better. Do you think that the dollar you have in your pocket today or your bank account is going to be worth more 5 years from now? Do you really fucking think that? Or do you think, well, I'm going to be going around with gold coins and a 6-gun and riding a horse, so I won't need gasoline and I won't need electricity, and I'll like fucking, like be like fucking Paul Revere with holding a candle on a fucking horse. Zed Des, in the chat, nothing ever gets better. Yeah, things get better, but in the long term, you have to think longer term. By the way, there's 2 viewers here. So I don't know who that other person is. Could be the NSA, some spook or whatever. Could be just some anon. Understand, in the short term, things are not getting better. The dollar's not going to purchase more. It's going to purchase less. The worse this gets, the further this spreads throughout the culture, the more political instability, the more cultural instability, violence, extreme behaviors, stuff you see on social media, all this craziness that people see. It's slowly gonna change you. Like when I drove car service in New York City in the 90s, street life in the 90s was crazy. Like it's a crack epidemic and all that stuff. And the first 3 years I drove in the ghetto, all ghetto areas, from this projects to that projects to the other projects. And I saw shootings and fucking, like every fucking thing. I got shot at, I got stuck up, I got almost fucking stuck up. People would throw furniture off the top of the buildings to try and stop the car in the middle of the street. And if you were dumb enough to stop the fucking car, the guys at the foyer of the building would come out and fucking rob you. Whatever they threw in the street, you just fucking hit it with the front of the car. These were big, like V8 Plymouths. You just fucking push the fucking thing up the street. It was a couch, whatever the fuck it was, a chair. Push it up the street till the grinding sounded too bad, and you back off and go around it. So here's the thing. When you look at social media and you see all this stuff, you see the shootings in New York and the Detroit stuff, all this craziness, people are starting to see this on social media and they're freaking out, like they've never seen this. Maybe you knew somebody who was a cop or their cousin was a cop or told you some crazy stories, but now tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people see this stuff for real as it happens, like hours after it happens. And it changes your perception of how safe you are, like what's going on. Is anybody in fucking control? And it makes people scared and nervous and lose confidence in everything. And the things you need to lose confidence in are your politicians and your fucking money. Trade your shitty Zog bucks, the green pieces of paper that are controlled by the Federal Reserve Corporation, which is Jacob Schiff and the Rothschilds. Trade them for something that they don't control. That thing is Bitcoin. It's decentralized money coupled with decentralized human governance, okay, which locks out these people, will create the greatest human freedom ever, and the best good for the most people. Zed Des, I was paid big cash to dress up like Marilyn Monroe in a pink gauze dress and walk through Harlem. I'm glad you made it. I don't know what year that was, Zed, and I'm not sure who would pay you to do that. But hey, good for you. I hope you did something with that money. I hope you're not holding on to that money in the shoebox, because it's probably worth less now than it was then. But listen, at the end of the day, like I realized that who am I talking to? Like I got to know this is 38 people. Like it's impossible for me to sit here or anyone and figure out what you need to do. Like I don't know what people's circumstances are and what protecting yourself looks like. Like I don't know. Again, different people are going to need different things at different times at different places. And I can only describe in a vague way. And I'm not trying to sell you fear, because hyperinflation isn't here yet. It's coming. We have inflation. Even the Fed admits that. Hyperinflation isn't here yet. But what I'm telling you is you have time now to ameliorate that, to manage that, to make that less bad for yourself and for those you care about, and that's what you should be doing. Stop wasting time and energy thinking someone's going to rescue you. Okay? Start thinking, I need to rescue myself and those I care about, and what does that look like? And it's going to look like different things for different people. So I don't know what you need to do. A marketing company, you were 18. Zendesk, you're like my age. So when you were 18, it was probably like 1983. Not that Harlem was safe in 1983. But, yeah, whatever. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. When I say this, like, you have to get out of the way of what's coming. There's no law anymore, right? There was just that stuff on a bunch of Congress people try to go to the January 6th insurrectionists and check on them in prison, and they were not allowed into prison. Like, it's one thing when American congressmen will go to Vietnam or Korea or it's like some Eastern European country and say, I want to meet this prisoner and I want to find out about their conditions. And the Iron Curtain would slam down. Boom. You cannot meet with this prisoner. They would say, oh, look at those evil communists, right? Tom Anderson, it's about time you showed up, bro. It's like a 2-hour. We're in this like 55 minutes already. When Congress would go to some congressman would go to some foreign country and demand to meet with some political prisoner, and they would be told no, like, oh my God, look at this horrible regime that denies, basic human rights, denies visitors to Congressman Twatley or whatever the fuck, right? But you have congresspersons trying to visit American prisoners in America being denied access to those prisoners. Are the January 6 people being beaten? Are they being fucking tortured? Who the fuck knows? We don't know, but they're not going to let the congressman find out. And the fact that they won't let the congressman in there to find out kind of makes you think, yeah, these people are getting beat down and getting tortured. That is what awaits you if you are stupid. Okay, do not go to any of these events and understand there's nothing you control. What we need to do is get the fuck out of the way of this structure which is falling over. You walk through Harlem in the early 1940s. Jesus Christ, New York City was 72% white in the early 1940s. All right. Tom Anderson said did some big squats Friday. Good for you. Squats are important. Now Tom Anderson's here. I have to look at my notes again. Yeah, so there's it's funny, like on other platforms, like on like Facebook. I'm still on Facebook because of family and stuff. And I don't know if they're starting to, my normie family starting to sense like, hey, things aren't going right. Because I'm just screaming at them buy Bitcoin all the time. One of my nieces was like, how many of you work to support your dog's lavish lifestyle? Because she has dogs. They all have dogs, actually. Both of them. She's like making a little joke about how expensive it is to have pets. And I was like, so this is like it's gay ass Facebook shit. And I'm like, so how do I turn this to my advantage? I was like, oh, how cute. Buy your dog Bitcoin, to try and explain to them that the US, like, people don't believe that the little green Zog bucks in your wallet are going to be worthless. They just don't believe it. No. It's never happened, so it's never going to happen. But just because it's never happened in your experience doesn't mean it's never going to happen, right? And so I'm trying to find a way around that. And I think, like I mentioned earlier in the show, I bought some lamb chops, which 2 weeks ago were $7.99 a pound. Now $8.99 a pound. That's like a 14% increase. That's a pretty decent jump in 10 days. And everyone's going to notice this, right? Food's getting more expensive. Fuel is getting more expensive. Everything else is getting more expensive. You're not making any more money. They're going to lock you down again. How are you going to pay for anything? BlackRock is advising Kamala Harris. What would they advise her to do? I can't imagine. It's nothing good for you, that's for sure. But it's good for Wall Street. It's good for BlackRock. All this is obviously happening. Pay attention to what is obviously happening, not what you think, not what you fear, not what you hope. Just keep your eyes directly on what's going on and figure out how you can avoid the most negative of these consequences. That's what I'm trying to tell people. And the best way to prep is to have something of value that's this fucking big on a USB hard drive or some other, whatever it is. I use ledgers. Other people use other things. And maybe get ready to move to a different part of the country or whatever, or do whatever you need to do, say whatever you need to say to get through this, because there's no fighting this. All right, there's compliance and avoidance is the best strategy you can come up with. So that is absolutely critical. Don't listen to Richard Spencer. Don't listen to these fucking chuckleheads. They don't have your best interest at heart. And the prescriptions that they are advocating help them and no one else. Yes, I am Gen X. I am super Gen X. I am the king of Gen X. Nobody's more Gen X than me. Gen X and a middle child in the family. Jesus Christ. That's like Gen X on steroids. If we took steroids, and I do not take steroids. Even though I probably should. I don't know, actually. I'm pretty fit for a dude who fucking sits on his ass most of the week. But Tom Anderson looking for dating advice. Oh man, I'm not giving out dating advice. Looking to explain my female. Good luck with that. Although I was told by a Chinese woman recently in a darkened room, don't question, all right? Don't judge. That my nose, she said I had the most beautifully straight nose, and I'm like, I don't think my nose is that straight, but it stunned me how this woman was very focused on my nose and how she thought it was like that, so great. And I'm like, really? It looks like a potato to me. But here's the thing, and we're already at an hour and 2 minutes. The things that are important and last, right? It's the old joke from Russia, right? There's no truth in news, and there's no news in truth. Things that are valuable and lasting are not the hot thing in the moment. The hot thing in the moment is what you should ignore. So, Zed Des in the chat. What? Tom Anderson, I don't take steroids because I think America is on the brink of collapse, and you won't be able to get a steady supply of steroids. Well, you could probably get them sent up from Mexico. You know what I mean? I don't understand why no one, you could make a fortune in Texas, right? I'm not saying that this would be criminal, and I'm not suggesting criminal behavior. But if you knew somebody in Mexico would just ship you fucking steroids, squeeze the steroids out of the tube, put it in shampoo or whatever, right? A shampoo bottle, clean out the shampoo bottles, ship it over to the US, you could charge triple the price, $300 or whatever. It costs $100 in Mexico, $300 in Texas. You could ship that shit all over fucking. They don't know what's in the tube. You know what I mean? The dogs that sniff shit are sniffing for cocaine and heroin. They're not sniffing for testosterone and fucking whatever TRT is made of. So I don't understand why people don't do that. Probably some people do that and make a fortune. Relabel some shit as fucking hair cream or skin cream, and that's really fucking TRT cream. Tom Anderson, if she had bigger boobs, I would marry her ASAP, but I don't think I can compromise. Wow. So said Des, ass cheeks are the same as boobs. Small boobs are for comfort. Wow, it's getting very, very, very sexual chat. Very physical chat. So imagine thinking like Tom Anderson, like Tom, seriously, bro, you wake up in the morning, like you got to do, you're going to go for a new PR in your fucking deadlift. And your girlfriend has the perfect size boobs, but she doesn't know how to fucking cook. She can't make you fucking 6 eggs in a protein shake because every time she tries to light the stove, she fucking burns her hand. You know what I mean? Whereas the one you dumped, who only is a 34C, not a 36C, cooks eggs like fucking Bobby Flay. You know what I mean? At what point do you realize it's more important to have your fucking eggs cooked right in the morning than for the chick to look like whatever, some poster girl from the fucking 80s. Like not being married is like, listen, get fucking married, Tom. Get married. You don't want to. You don't end up. You don't want to end up like me. You don't want to like not be invited anywhere. No social life. It's a very, very hard thing. You want to be married, okay? And that's what you want to do. Now, if she's a white girl, it's a 50-50 chance you're going to get divorced. So you gotta do a little more research to figure out whether or not it improves your chances to marry her or not marry her. But the reason why everybody marries Chinese women is because, or Asians, whatever, is because it's only a 5% divorce rate. 95% of dudes who marry Chinese women or Koreans or Filipinos or whatever the fuck stay married for life. And as much as it might be awkward in some ways, it might not work in every way, guess what? You don't have to fucking come home to an empty apartment for decades at a time, which is what I've done. And I've adapted myself to this. So it's not that big of a deal. But trust me, most people can't fucking do this. Most people cannot do this. Yeah, you don't want to end up, dude. You don't want to. What do you think is better out there? Like really, like what a bullshit excuse that you. That's really a bullshit excuse. It's a bullshit excuse. Like a lot of bullshit excuses. But you know when you're waiting for perfection, right? You let the perfect be the enemy of the good. Well, then there you go. You know, you imagine that around the corner is perfection. I got news for you. There's no fucking perfection on this earth. Does not exist. And by the way, I don't know if you know this, Tom. This might come as a fucking surprise to you, but you can actually buy bigger tits for women. You can go to a place where they can fucking install bags of fucking salt water, and that's that. And women are not that opposed to that as you think they are. Where was I? Where was I? What the fuck? Yeah, so, all right, we're at an hour 7. Probably trying to wrap this up relatively quick. Meth Squad. Zed Des, what are you talking about, hon? Meth Squad? The number one factor that determines divorce is the number of partners a woman has had before marriage. So why don't you give her the questionnaire on the first date? Say, listen, here, I'm going to order the lobster and the champagne. And in the meantime, you fill out this questionnaire, and that way, maybe you guys still got to pony up for a lobster and a fucking bottle of fucking whatever, Veuve Clicquot. But you get out cheap because it's one day, then you never fucking call it back again. You know what I mean? Yeah. So this is. The problem with making choices in real life, in real time, is you have to live with them. And for me, like somebody was asking me last week, like, why do you never get married? Who the fuck could be married to me? Like really? Like One, I can't talk to you. Like there's probably like 7 women on the planet Earth I could talk to. You know what I mean? That would understand anything I fucking say. And then two, like at my socioeconomic level, you if you're I'm not going to make you happy. So this is not going to work, right? There were a couple of times I probably wanted to I was 2 or 3 women I wanted to marry. It would not have worked. I would have been miserable. Would have been fucked up. So I'm glad it didn't happen. But um, if your fucking mind doesn't spool up like mine does, um, then you should probably be a fucking relative normie and get married. Because this time goes one fucking way. It goes one fucking way, you know. And the choices you pass by, you think, oh, I can go back and get something better. It's not. You're bullshitting yourself. You're really, really bullshitting yourself. What the fuck, Tom Anderson? Are you even fucking serious? Wait, hold on. Let me look in the chat. Tom Anderson is saying his girlfriend is a virgin and a Christian. Yeah, that would be, I would be stunned. And Tom is 32. How old is the girl, Tom? If you're saying older than 17, I'm going to have a tough time believing. I'm going to have a tough time believing that. You know what I mean? An absolute virgin. Wow, that seems unlikely. Not impossible, but unlikely. Tom Anderson in the chat, tell me how old the girlfriend is. How old is the GF? You're 32. Who are you dating? Unless you're dating in like I don't know. This is like she's 28. 28-year-old virgin. There may be what you call a technical virgin, like a technical virgin. Technically, she's a virgin, but if she's even like mediocre attractive, I'm guessing she's not entirely a virgin. I find that exceptionally hard to believe at 28 years old. Yeah, I find that hard to believe, but I could be wrong. Who knows? It's 300 million people in this country, and I'm not trying to. You know what? I don't want to influence anything the wrong way, but it seems that is extremely unlikely. And if I mean, not for nothing, Tom Anderson, it sounds like you're saying to yourself, well, everything else is like right in line, but she's a 34B, not a 34C. And so I'm going to go around the corner or down the street or across the world or whatever and find all of the exact same qualities in exactly the same way, but a 34C. To believe that in any serious way is to be fucking like psychotic. Like you need to be hospitalized. Like she has 89 of the 94 qualities I want. But you're making excuses, bro. You're playing games, you're making excuses. You may believe the shit you say, but nobody else believes what you say. She's a Christian. She exercises. She cooks. She sews her own clothes. Blah, 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 blah. But she's only a 32A cup. I need a 34B cup. Yeah, no, you might want to look at that list of shit that you consider absolutely critical and reassess. But do whatever you're going to do. And blame who you can blame me for it. You can blame me for fucking Um, your ex was 36 double D. And why is she your ex? I mean, if she was, if ultimately, if the size of the Milkies determines whether or not you marry her, then you know, you got two questions: natty or enhanced. You know what I mean? Um, Zed does. Tom adores women. So do I. I adore women too. I adore them from a fucking distance because I know what they're like as fucking. I don't want to sleep next to some fucking monstrous, fucking hateful psychopath. Um, I've had brief relationships with very attractive females, but pretty on the outside is not pretty on the inside. You know what I mean? And there's a reason. There's a reason that people say that because it's true. Because it is true. Um, Whatever. Listen, like, do you really think like when you have kids, like, oh, my kid's less than perfect? What are you gonna do, Tom? Leave it out in the snow? You're just gonna go like, you know what, honey? It's winter time. Nobody's gonna notice. We'll just leave the baby outside the hospital in the snow and we'll try again in 9 months and get a perfect one. Do you think that's how it's gonna fucking happen? Like, you have to stop being a psychopath. You have to be a real person. And you know, that's 32. Shit, dude, you're fucking on your way out. You know what I mean? The door is closing on you so fucking fast. You have no fucking idea. You're gonna get fucking rugged at 36 and having nothing going on in your life. That yeah, that's gonna be a hard pill to swallow. It's gonna be a real hard pill to swallow. Anyway, what is it like? 1 hour 16. I think I've spent the first. Zed, by the way, you were supposed to go to sleep, dear. You were supposed to get some rest. You have. Hopefully, you don't have surgery tomorrow. Hopefully, you do not have surgery tomorrow. Um, what did I see? I saw like Luke Ford had a stream where somebody was yelling at Duvid and like what's his name, Bernard Brightson on Twitter, like posted like, "Hey, check this out." So I went over. I didn't even know what the link was. I just clicked the YouTube link, and there was some Jew, some whatever, some like a real Jew accusing Duvid of not being of being a fake Jew. And Duvid he got all indignant. He's like, I would call, if we were in the same room, I would call you out. And we would go out in the street and we would fight and stuff. And I was like dying. I was like, it was way too funny because I don't know if you've ever seen Duvid, but he's 4 feet tall. Way too funny. And Luke Ford trying to get traction back because his channel is completely dumped. But it's not like that's going to happen because nobody gives a fuck anymore. At this point, all of your most precious ideas are going to fall to practical reality. And I'm trying to suggest to you that practicality triumphs ideology, but you don't want to hear that. You're still in a comfortable enough place where you can afford this. Like Tom Anderson, your tits are too small. I won't marry you. You don't believe, like, well, who's that fucking cunt? Where's that guy? Get rid of the bow and arrow girl. I don't want to see the bow and arrow girl no more. Here's this fuckhead. This is popular on the right wing. This fucking. I'm so glad I didn't go to fucking college because I missed out on a lot of really stupid shit. College is just really dumb motherfuckers, really, really dumb fucking retards reinforcing each other's beliefs. So here's this guy. Probably a popular dude in like so-called right-wing circles. Come on, show up, you prick. There it is. This is a quote from Hans Hermann Hoppe. It says, "What is true, just, and beautiful is not determined by popular vote. The masses everywhere are ignorant, short-sighted, motivated by envy, and easy to fool. Democratic politicians must appeal to those masses in order to be elected. Whoever is the best demagogue will win. Almost by necessity, then, democracy will lead to the perversion of truth, justice, and beauty." And I guarantee you, right now, any like wannabe fucking online right winger just faps this shit. You actually think this fucking stupid fucking loser makes any fucking sense? Understand, you are an unpopular loser because you are an unpopular loser. That is who and what you are. This is really blaming your problems on the outside fucking world. Okay? I don't know Hans Hermann Hoppe from a hole in the wall, but I put him in the same category as Immanuel Kant and fucking Nietzsche and Spengler and Evola. Right? Where the fuck did truth, like, tell me what culture. I want to put this in the chat. You can, whether you're watching this now or you watch this later, put this in the chat. Which culture showed more truth and fucking beauty than and justice than Athens in the 500 to 300 BC? Like, where do you, was it Egypt? When you look at when you look at the pyramids, do you see truth, beauty, and justice? When you look in fucking at the fucking in the East, where do you see truth, beauty, and justice? Like, where do these concepts even fucking come from? Right? Once Rome falls, right? The fall of Rome, pagan Rome, and the rise of Christian Rome was what is commonly called the Dark Ages, right? And until the Renaissance, where was the art? Where was the truth? Where was the beauty? Where was it? Show it to me. Show me the truth, beauty, and justice between the year 1000 AD and the year 1400 AD. Show that to me, Hans Hermann Hoppe faggots. You have to understand why people punch you in the face and take your fucking lunch money, okay? You need to understand this because you're a fucking retard who tells lies in public, and people don't tolerate that. And they realize you're a stupid, weak retard who tells lies in public, and they decide to just punch you in the face and take whatever in your pockets. And you know what? You deserve that. Truth, justice, and beauty. Who fucking defined that? Was it defined by the Dark Ages? Was it defined by the Christianization of fucking Europe, like fucking KMG talks about? When Muslim slavers came into Spain and Italy and fucking Greece and fucking France and all over, and they kidnapped fucking children and took white slaves across the Mediterranean to fucking North Africa. Was that the truth, beauty, and justice you're talking about? What are you talking about? Give me an example. You talk shit and you deserve to be punched in the face because you talk shit. The right wing is fucking faggots. You're all faggots. Whether you know you're a faggot or you don't know you're a faggot yet, you're a faggot. You are gay. Gay guys look at you and laugh at you because you're gayer than they are. You're fucking gay. You're more of a fag than a faggot. Right? You can shut the fuck up. You can shut any right-wing motherfucker up by talking about money. As soon as you talk about money, these cocksuckers act like you don't fucking exist. They'll talk about all kinds of shit that doesn't fucking matter and doesn't fucking affect anything. But talk about fucking money, bang, they're out of there. Because you're up against the money printer. Once again, now you're up against the real shit. Now you're up against the real Negro, the fucking money printer, and the people who control the money printer. And if you run your fucking mouth too loud and they fucking hear it, oh, they're gonna make you fucking pay. So you talk shit, and I don't give a fuck if you're from the RNC, if you're Nick fucking Fuentes. I don't give a fuck if you're a Hitler worshiper. Talk about fucking money. Talk about how much you're gonna pay me to do something. All of a sudden, these cocksuckers like you don't fucking exist. When it comes down to real talk about doing real shit, things that make civilization possible, these motherfuckers bound. I'm out. Peace. I'm out. So fuck you. Fuck you, fuck all your fake ideas. Okay? Like everyone laughs at you. Hans Hermann Hoppe, you fake fucking faggot. What are you talking about? Who's going to do the fucking difficult fucking... Who's going to work 15 hours a day for you? For what? You can't understand why you are inherently, in your fucking DNA, a loser. You can't fucking comprehend that. You can't wrap your head around that. Nothing's going to happen till the money printer lights the entire country on fire, or maybe the entire world on fire, and then something else is going to happen after that. What I'm telling you is, sooner or later, the money printer is going to fill America and the world with so much worthless paper that it's all going to burn. Will it be tomorrow? No, it's not likely to be tomorrow. Will it be next year? Probably not likely to be next year. But it will happen. And all your fucking running your fucking mouth ain't going to fucking do nothing. So nobody wants to fucking hear you. So I'll tell you to your face, and I'll meet you fucking anywhere. If I meet you in the subway, I'll push you in front of a fucking subway train. Hans Hermann Hoppe, you fucking retards. Come out of your fucking house. Once you leave your fucking cozy bedroom, come out in the real world, you're going to get fucking wrecked. You're going to get fucking wrecked. And you deserve to be wrecked. Because you're smart enough to understand the way the world is, but you are gutless. And you won't fucking face it. Oh, well, okay. So all of your shitty fucking ideas will fucking fall, but they're all going to get wiped off. At the end of the day, what incentive do you offer me to behave? And, you know, there's two incentives. Do this, I reward you. Do that, I will punish you. You don't have to, all you do is fantasize all day about the ability to punish people. Because you're a fucking jerk off. Nothing you understand or think of or value is about incentivizing behavior. And in order to get any motherfucking thing done, you have to incentivize behavior. So, what incentives do you offer who to do what? And how well do you understand complex systems? How they are created, how they are maintained, how they are improved, how they are fucking destroyed. Do you understand any of that? No. You understand Nietzsche. By the way, the fucking Korean girl, Suni Lee, whatever the fucking name was, the black girl who couldn't take her fucking pills, so she copped out of the Olympics, and the Korean girl won the gold, which is probably the first time a Korean ever took jewelry from a black person, stole jewelry from a black person, right? I seen the thing on the Korean girl. Her dad put a fucking. They said she always had. Her mom said she always had such strong hands that she wanted to tumble, and they put a fucking 4x4 in the front yard. That's it. Dad took a thing this fucking high, put a 4x4 piece of wood in the front yard, and she would do her tumbling, whatever the fuck they did, handstands. Every day after school. And you know what? History opened the fucking opportunity. And she fucking stepped through and she won Olympic gold. I guarantee she never read Nietzsche or Evola or any of your jerk off fucking heroes. I guarantee. I saw a video of her. She's sitting in her little fucking bedroom with the stuffed animals and shit, like a 12-year-old kid, like a normal fucking girl, you know? But she liked to tumble and do the flippy thing. Her dad put the fucking piece of wood in the fucking front yard. She would practice every day after school. And you know what? Her name is in the history books forever. Olympic gold, Suni Lee. Forever. Olympic gold world champion. None of your philosophy fucking applies here. Do the fucking thing that's going to make you world champion. That's going to make you the best at anything. It's not about theory. It's about doing what makes you a champion. Can you do any of that? No, you can't. So you talk shit about stupid shit, which is why you deserve, I swear to God, God, I don't fucking believe in. You deserve to have your head cracked open because as smart as you are, you're just wasting fucking time and convincing people to believe in stupid shit. Be smarter than that. Come to reality. And it's as scary as it is, and as difficult as it is, you got to fucking get stuck into it. You know? And if you suck at it, go do something else. But that little Korean girl, she was good at tumbling and doing whatever, standing on her fucking hands on a piece of wood in her front yard in fucking San Diego. And now she's in the world history books forever. You will live and die. No one will ever know your fucking name. Her name will live forever. The black girl, think about this. The black girl, everyone's got to make up some bullshit story. Oh, you did the right. Oh, so wonderful. The Korean girl, every room, think about this. You're this Korean kid, girl, woman, whatever. And every room you walk into for the rest of your life, oh my God, the Olympic world, oh, can I shake your hand? It's such an honor to meet you. Every room you ever walk into for the rest of your life. Your name in world history next to gold medalist. No Nietzsche, no Avila, no none of that shit. Can you fucking do it or can you not do it? You can't do it. So you talk stupid shit about jerk off fucking syphilitic psychopaths. And you wonder, why doesn't anyone listen to me? How come no one listens to me? I think the world of a dude with syphilis who spent all his money on prostitutes. Why does no one listen to me? Yeah, why? Real fucking head scratcher, huh? Real fucking head scratcher. Anyway. All of your ideas are wrong. You're too arrogant to fucking change them. You deserve every punishment that's coming your way. And I'm not going to punish you. You're going to punish yourself. You're going to remain stupid when you have the opportunity to smarten up. And there's nothing I can do about that. You could criticize me and say, well, you didn't sprinkle the perfect words in the perfect way to flatter my ego, to make me understand the concept. Listen, I'm not here to fucking sugarcoat it for you. Are you really that much of a fucking child that you think it has to be presented to you in exactly the right fucking way, at exactly the right tone of voice, and don't use the Joey fucking bag of donuts accent. And then, only then, will you go fuck yourself, you fucking faggot. You fucking catch on, or you can get fucking lost. Get with it or get fucked. I don't care. I don't fucking know who the fuck you are. I don't have any emotional relationship with people on the fucking internet. You're fucking mental cases. You're fucking pot-smoking Adolf Hitler worshippers. The fuck do I give a shit about you? That anyone would hear me and go, hey, you know what? Okay, his presentation is X. The X, whatever, he's a jerk, whatever, blah, 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 blah. He drinks too much. Yeah. True. However, what is his core idea? His core idea is that all the central banks of the world are printing like crazy. They're devaluing the currency, which is stealing from you. When the money you make for whatever it is you do no longer buys you the basics, you're going to behave in a way that currently looks insane and will be very, very bad. What I'm trying to tell you is to step out of that as much as you can by getting out of fiat currencies, by getting out of the US dollar and getting into Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin will be here 50 years from now, 100 years from now, 200 years from now. You can pass it on to your children, your grandchildren, some organization you believe in, a church, whatever. Stop being a jerk. Stop fucking wasting your money and time on stupid shit. Prepare now, because the earlier you prepare, the better off you will be when the fucking really bad shit happens. And the bad shit's not going to happen tomorrow. I'm not doom and gloom. I'm not saying tomorrow it's all fucking black clouds and fucking lightning, but it will come. And I suggest to you, if in whatever pretty way I can sprinkle the words in the perfect fucking order, for you to prepare yourself and those you care about. The dumb stuff I put on the fucking stream, the pictures, the whatever, the screenshots from fucking Twitter, trying to bolster my case. Just trying to bolster my case. You know, make it hopefully a little bit entertaining, a little bit different from what you would normally see. Hey, Zoo, you're in the chat. Hey, how's it going? Where you been? I haven't seen you. You've been lurking, hanging out at Luke Ford's probably, talking with Kyle. I'm trying to suggest to you that your ideas are not working. They have never worked. They're unpopular. You should abandon them and be more reality-based and try to extrapolate from the facts. Try to reason from first principles. As I know it sounds super impressive. Probably doesn't sound super impressive coming out of my mouth, but look at what would a reasonable person do seeing these facts and how would you behave? It's tough. It's tough and scary and nobody knows what the future is. But if you understand that there will be no political solutions, the culture will go wildly left and right, right and left, and get crazier and more violent, again, as people are unable to get the basics, food, shelter, clothing. To have an asset like Bitcoin, which is unconfiscatable and can travel across borders easily, it seems like a fucking no-brainer. It seems like a fucking no-brainer. You know, you're not going to go across the Mexican border with a pistol and a bag of gold coins. It's not going to happen. The control of the police, the courts, the prisons are not in any way, shape, or form ours or neutral. Try to think ahead. How much worse could it get? What would I have to do? What would they make me do? Well, how much can I comply? When do and you're going to have to mostly comply. Mostly going to have to comply because they're going to find a way to lock you out of the supermarket. They're going to make you homeless and starving. And you ain't up to being homeless and starving. Very few people are up to homeless and starving. Drug addicts are up to homeless and starving because smoking crack or heroin or whatever the fuck they do, or meth, to them is worth being homeless and starving. But you're not up to it. You were never fucking up to it. So stop pretending that you are. Stop pretending that you are. Think about how can I avoid this? How can I just fucking comply just enough? Can you fake it? Can you, whatever? I don't know. I'm not suggesting, heaven forbid, I would suggest anything illegal. But you need to think there's no winning this. I have to survive this. And my kids, my grandkids, whatever. What's that going to look like? It doesn't mean joining up with a group because all of the people at the top benefit and you're not at the top. You're not at the top. So think about how you can get through this, you know, because it's going to get tougher and worse and worse and worse. And nobody disagrees with that. Nobody thinks the economy is going to get better. Nobody thinks the jobs are coming back from China. No one thinks wages are going to rise and inflation is going to go down. Nobody thinks that. I'm trying to tell you, listen, you're going to buy Bitcoin one way or fucking another. You're going to buy Bitcoin now at 39,000, or you might buy it at 390,000. The only question is, how humble are you and how smart are you? If you're smart and humble, you do it now. If you're fucking arrogant You wait till it's 400,000 and then you cry that you didn't do it sooner. Like a lot of other people, I've been humbled sooner. And I'm suggesting that you put aside these ideas that you're in love with and for a moment examine the world in a neutral fashion and then make an assessment based on your observations. Try not to be as ideological. Hans Hermann Hoppe, Nietzschean, whatever stupid shit you fucking think you believe. And you don't even fucking believe it. Because the minute you haven't had food for a day, 24 fucking hours, the minute all your beliefs go out the fucking window. You can't even remember what the fuck you think you fucking believe. Trust me, you have no food for 24 hours, your entire fucking worldview changes. No food for 2 days, and you'll do anything to anybody for any fucking reason. No food for 3 days, and you're dead. Right? You're likely dead. Well, 3 weeks. You might last 3 weeks, depending on how fat you are. Right? No water for 3 days, you'll die. But your entire worldview, whoever you think you are, your hard-won fucking, it's all fucking bullshit. You break like this. You fucking break like this. 2 fucking seconds. Stop being a jerk off. Get smarter now. Get smarter sooner. That's all I'm suggesting you do. Because you're going to buy Bitcoin. The question is, you're going to buy $39,000 Bitcoin or you're going to buy $3.9 million Bitcoin? That's the only question. I suggest you do it now when it's $39,000, not when it's 390 or 3.9 million, because it's going that high. Because the money printer go forever until the entire world is in flames. So I'm just trying to fucking warn you, like, pay attention now, prep now for yourself, for your family, for everyone you care about. That's all. You know, I want to show you a couple different things. That astrology chick who works for Goldman Sachs, the CIA, NSA, whatever, all these other people things that I think will help clarify this, but maybe not. Maybe not. 2 more days, look at Zoo in the chat. 2 more days until ETH money becomes less profitable. Well, sell now. Anyway, look at this. 1 hour 41. 1 hour 41. Listen, what time is it now? Midnight. Midnight on the East Coast. Tom Anderson, thanks for showing up. Zoo, thanks for showing up. Zed Des, I get some rest, sweetie, please. I'm sure you know your patients will appreciate you not falling asleep over their charts tomorrow morning. Anyway. I will make another case next week, depending on, it's going to be the same case, really. Same. We'll see if number doesn't go up or number does go up. Judas Flychild, you literally show up at the very last minute. The very, very, very last minute, Judas Flychild. Did you see Duvid fight with the other guy on the Luke Ford stream? Judas Flychild. Did you see that? Duvid challenged somebody to a fist fight. And really, who would Duvid have to challenge in order to like actually win? It would have to be like a midget on crutches. A spastic midget on crutches. Anyway, welcome Judas Flychai Waffen. You got to look at Luke Ford's stream from the other day. Him and Joshua the dark bearded Jew, they play fighting on the stream. It was pretty funny. Well, if you look at the chat, it's funny. A lot of guys, Ricardo Williams, Bernard Brightson was there, a bunch of other people there. It was I was in there as Google's most wanted frog, so and talking shit. So it was funny to do. And I did that while I was sitting in traffic fucking somewhere. Tom Ann said, Duvid is 6'4", 250, and has a black belt in BJJ. Well, he's got a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu, but that's it's more like 4'6". 4'6". 250 pounds. I've seen him on video. There was video of him way back in the day at some Second Amendment event in 2A rally, public 2A rally in Detroit, and somebody said something. He ran behind. This black guy came up and dude ran around behind somebody. He was like a foot shorter than the dude he was hiding behind against. A foot and a half shorter. It was fucking, God, that was hilarious. So many things I wish I could have clipped, that I wish I could have clipped from back in the days, because it would be a pisser. Now I got 6 fucking viewers. Now I don't want to. Now I'm thinking I call more viewers on. I don't want to. Can't end the fucking stream now. Who are these 6 other people? Who are these 6 people that showed up at fucking midnight? Judas Flychai. I'm 6'2", member of the master race. Well, Judas Flychai, I believe you are 6'2". You'll have to post in the chat what your PR deadlift is, your personal record for deadlift. Because 6'2" and a bean pole, I mean, your best deadlift might be $185. You know what I mean? We don't know. And so please post bots. Tom Anderson, Kurt Doolittle. Yeah, I remember. I was thinking about that. Like, I was thinking about how much of the feds that floated around the internet, I took out Kurt Doolittle, Jason Bateman, and OV. Like this, I've probably got the most scalps of any fucking real fucking right wing guy. Like, I've probably taken out the most feds. I have the most federal scalps on my fucking saddle of my fucking horse as I ride across the fucking plains. There's 3. Now, admittedly, Norvin took out Frame Games, who was a big deal. I don't know who else he did, but I'm familiar with Frame Games. So Norvin took him out, but I don't know anybody else who's done more work than I have. You know what I mean? It's like, you may consider this like a blue collar fucking brag, but it's fucking 3 dudes, and I don't know anybody else whoever took out fucking 3 dudes like I did. And if you want, I don't count Duvid because Duvid's he is a comic character. But fucking Kurt Doolittle. I drove to fucking Connecticut and reported Kurt Doolittle's fucking, like, IRL, reported his fucking videos to the fucking New Haven police. You know what I mean? And I waited like an hour and a half till they came out. You go in the police station, it's like all fucking armored, like bulletproof glass and shit. This is New Haven, Connecticut. It's unreal. It looks like a fucking military fucking camp, like a military building. And the cop comes out to me and he's in this tactical vest and shit. That's how bad New Haven is. You have no idea how bad New Haven is. The Frame Games was the glowy of fucking glowies. He was straight, like he was broadcasting directly from fucking Langley. You know what I mean? It's like, ding, bing, 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 Langley, Virginia, fucking, he's like, hey, tell me, like, hey, alt-right people, tell me who the most popular people in the alt-right are, and I'll give them $10. You know what I mean? Like, tell us who's the number 1 guy. Like, really, dude? Like, really? He used to do shit like that. It was so bad. Yeah, but I took out fucking Kurt Doolittle, Justin Bateman, and OV. Like, how many times did I smack fucking OV around? Him and all those fucking friends at fucking Department of Justice. In terms of fucking heavy lifting, I've done some serious heavy fucking lifting. Zoo in the chat. What happened with Frame Games? Frame Games was on a stream and for Christ's sake, is literally his name. Norvin Hobbs fucking took him the fuck out, like, live online. It was Frame Games literally made Norvin made Frame Games quit the fucking internet. Norvin is whatever, his physical health is not great, but his mind is real fucking clear, like real clear. And it's probably because his physicality is not what it should be. But he literally drove frame games off the fucking internet. It was a thing of beauty, which I think somebody clipped somewhere, but I'm honestly I can't tell you where it is. But yeah, Norvin kicked fucking ass on that in that regard. For a guy as frail as Norvin is, he got up and he seriously kicked ass. That was it was a while ago. That was like maybe 2 years ago, a year and a half, 2 years ago. I can't remember the time, but a big deal. And that's part of right after that. All of a sudden, Antifa started hunting down Norvin, and then he got the Wikipedia entry as the fucking whatever hate monger of the West Coast, blah 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 blah. And then somebody, Antifa, hacked Norvin's fucking address, and they found out where he lived. Now Antifa couldn't hack the way into a fucking empty shopping cart. Someone in a 3-letter agency, NSA, CIA, FBI, fed Antifa the information of where Norvin lived based on ISP data, the machine ID he fucking logs in from, blah 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 blah. And Norvin actually had to move out of his own family home to somewhere else. So, you will never fucking convince me. I don't give a fuck what you say. You will never convince me that Antifa is smart enough or disciplined enough to figure any of this shit out. You know what I mean? Somebody from a 3-letter agency hands the information to the ADL. The ADL hands it off to an intern who's part of an Antifa group or whatever, however the fuck it works. And then shit happens. There is no way you will not convince me that Norvin Hobbs was not targeted specifically by one of the 3-letter agencies. And they fucking fed his address directly to Antifa and pointed Antifa right at this fucking house. And the reason why they did that is because Norvin Hobbs is physically weakened individually. He has heart problems, congenital heart problems, massive shit. I had a heart attack, which is like bullshit. I rehab myself. I take creatine and fucking honey and I lift weights and I do all kinds of shit. And I'm stronger at fucking 56 than I was at 46. So when you send Antifa outside my fucking house, you try and kick in my door, motherfucker, I'm sticking a fucking 8-inch fucking chef knife in your fucking eye socket. Come to my fucking house. But that's not Norvin Hobbs. Norvin is a fucking guy. Norvin, and he's our guy 100%. But he's not a fucking, like he literally physically cannot, like he's incapable. You understand? And he never was. He had, on a physical level, he had challenges few people in America have. So everything with Norvin was purely cerebral. You know what I mean? But with that, he did. No lie, he did everything he could do. The guy did like some serious heavy lifting. You know what I mean? In terms of pushing back against the narrative, in terms of exposing people for being what they are. Norvin did a lot of fucking work. You know what I mean? He did a lot of fucking work. But you send people to his house, he like, you know, this guy couldn't, you know, he's fucking, he's a frail human being. So, whatever. Anyway, but Norvin took out frame games. That was like, in terms of right-wing, extreme right-wing Twitter, extreme right-wing internet people, YouTube people, whatever, Norvin's famous. That's why he has a Wikipedia entry. You know what I mean? He's at least as famous, in my opinion, as Ramsey Paul, because Ramsey Paul is whatever. He's like a boomer guy, you know, who believes in nationalism. You know, some bullshit set of ideas. Here's a bullshit set of ideas that if you just believe in this, everything will be great. Well, okay, how are you going to pay my rent? How am I going to fucking put clothes on my wife's back, feed her, feed the fucking kids, pay the light bill? And everybody goes, oh, nationalism. Yeah, that doesn't work, jerk off. That actually doesn't work. So if Ramsey Paul is as far right-wing as he is, talks about an idea that literally doesn't work and is never going to work. It seems moderately appealing because everything else is total shit, and this is only 98% shit. But yeah, Norvin was beyond that. You know what I mean? He was beyond that, and a lot of people were fumbling around. And all this time, but all this stuff is crashing down, and it's all fucking as the money fucking loses value, it becomes more difficult to get food, clothing, shelter for you, your family, etc., 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 and have a future that's equal to or brighter than what you had. A lot of the ideas that you thought were going to fucking work, all of a sudden you realize they're losing their appeal. They're not quite. They lose the cachet that they used to have, and you start looking over them and going, "Oh fuck, oh shit, what's the future like?" You know, and you start looking at other things. The first, second, or third thing you grab, who knows? Maybe you fall into it or you don't fall into it. But I think Norvin was a legit guy in terms of a thinker, and I debated him. The people, what's his name? Mephistopheles Ghost. He used to have like 3 channels on YouTube. They're all gone now. And he used to clip all us people, and they clipped me like fucking 10 times. All this dumb shit I used to say. And I still say dumb shit. You know what I mean? But anyway, so I was like halfway famous on fucking YouTube amongst this crowd. But Mephi was like, he knew Norvin, he knew me. He said, listen, you should debate Norvin. So I went on Norvin's. He had 4 channels or whatever. And I debated him on one of his channels. And even though I was trying to make, like Sparks, I was trying to make something happen, Norvin and I are closer ideologically probably than you might think. We're much more reasonable individuals who can compromise and make something happen. So it wasn't really the Sparks that everyone anticipated, because he and I have such different styles. But whatever. I personally like, again, unreserved, like the guy. I would sit and eat with him. I would spend the afternoon with him, whatever. But everybody wants blood sports. Everybody wants some sort of screaming match online. It's like Talk Radio 3.0, where you can say whatever, you can curse, you can talk about Jews. All right, so maybe that's the internet. Maybe it's all just entertainment. But for those of us who are a little bit older and a little bit more experienced, you realize, hey, you know what? Not good things are happening. Hopefully you can steer people away from the worst of it, and fingers crossed, you pat yourself on the back and you call yourself a good person for doing that. And that's what I'm trying to do. You can, whether you're entertained by it or not entertained by it, I don't know. But, that the feds come in with this and all this other shit, some of us fought back, and some of us had some wins. Norvin was amongst them, and I count myself among the guys who won against the feds. Anyway, listen, we're coming up at 150 from my view, 157.33, almost 2 hours. It's 12:30 here on the East Coast. Thanks everybody for showing up. I'm going to bail because I got to work tomorrow. And thanks everybody for showing up. Try to overcome my less than appealing presentation sometime. Try to listen to the ideas I'm talking about and see if they fit or don't fit in your world. And if they do, great. If not, I'll try and do better next week. Anyway, all you guys, thanks a lot for showing up. I'm going to say good night, and I'll see you guys next week.